I'm super pumped to bring up Brian Kelly now to share a little bit with us. Um, it's always fun to meet some of your heroes. Brian is definitely a hero of mine. He's laughing because he probably gets this all the time. I know Brian as the points guy. So I didn't know. I just know him as TPG. It's this, today a powerhouse travel and lifestyle media platform, 10 million unique monthly visitors around the world. But it's not really just the points guy anymore. There's a team of 100 people helping Brian do this. And I think it all started with a Google form. Is that right?
It was actually called Form Smarts. And so when I launched the Points Guy, actually yesterday was our 10-year anniversary from my first blog post. So it's been quite a ride, but the site was actually just a form. And you could put in how many Amex points or whatever, and you would PayPal me $50, and I would one-on-one help people use their points. And my dad was like, Brian, how are you going to grow this business? You've got this weird knowledge of loyalty programs. You can't really outsource a call center of this type of knowledge. He's like, you need to figure out how to make money in your sleep. So
there's a few of us. I know right now that your father wasn't like an investment banker or a consultant, because coming from a consulting background, I mean, this was the game. The game was to travel, to get the points, to redeem them, 2.2 cents per point, get the best possible redemption. I'm hearing right now from my wife, who is downstairs watching the show. Oh my God, the points guy. She can't believe it. But
you can call me TPG, by the way. My mom will text me and be like, that's when I knew my brand was taking off. When 9 years ago, the TPG, are you coming home? And I was like,
it's amazing. But hold on. I mean, your family wasn't super supportive. They didn't realize it was going on. I mean, I know that you had done it, but why did you start it? Like, why did that form hero even start?
Well, because I just wanted a side hustle. So I started at Morgan Stanley in August of 2007. I was doing tech recruiting for campus. So my job was to convince MIT grads and Columbia computer science grads to join Morgan Stanley instead of Google and Facebook and Yahoo. Yeah. So, but being in HR at a bank during the Great Recession, every year they were like, oh, you're promoted, but your pay increase is not getting laid off. And as a angry 20-something-year-old in New York, I was just trying to struggle. So it really was just a side hustle. I was like, if I can make $400 extra a month by just using the skill that I have and I actually enjoy doing. So that was it. And then
that's only 4 form submissions. I mean, that's easy.
And then I was just like hounding every person I knew. I went through my Gmail and I just remember clicking A. And I just would put people and anyone that I had emailed within the last 5 years. I started this newsletter about points, and slowly but surely. And then a friend was like, if you really want to bring in a lot of new clients without harassing every one of your friends, you should start blogging, because Google will recognize your content. And I had no idea about SEO or anything like that. But he said, just write good content once a day and the rest will follow. And I was very
it's the new Apple a day, one good blog post a day, right? And so that was when it began. And of course, that was when you could just write a blog post on a topic and own the first result in Google. Those were great times. But now we're looking at a world where travel has fallen off a cliff. And so I'm curious, it's an interesting sector to be in right now. What changes have you seen over the last few months in the industry?
Well, travel's fallen off a cliff, but just this week, I mean, it's really starting to come back. I'm currently, if you can't tell by my shirt, in Palm Springs, California. I took my first flight on, Friday, and boy, did it feel good to get back in the sky. But people, the other day, I think we had 450,000 people in the U.S. go through TSA, down from 2.5 million, but up from the 80,000 at the bottom of COVID. So people are returning, but the way people are searching for travel and cancellation and insurance and health and what if I'm stuck, because so many people got stuck abroad. I think, we've really doubled down on, usually we, talk about credit cards and booking travel. Now it's just like, we're getting to the nitty gritty of where can you even go? These countries, this is a whole new world of travel where, I was supposed to go to Iceland in 2 weeks, and then they just canceled all flights. And, Americans now aren't going to be allowed until July at the earliest. So it's kind of interesting that Americans were getting flipped on our passport has always been one of the most powerful. And now there's not a whole lot of places to go.
And do you think that's going to be sort of a short-term thing, or do you think there's going to be long-term implications here to being a U.S. passport holder, for example?
I don't think they'll be super long-term. I think most countries really need the tourism dollars. So I think what we're seeing in June of this year, Antigua and Iceland will be opening. I think countries are testing the waters, and I think seeing how it goes, if masks and temperature checks and COVID checks before you get on a flight will do it, then I foresee a quicker reopening around the world. But it's just such uncharted territory. But people will get back to traveling again.
They will get back, although I don't think it'll be the same. Although I'm curious to hear your opinion. Especially loyalty programs, something near and dear to your heart. A lot of changes, of course, happening in this time where maybe it's an extension of a redemption period, or maybe it's the cancellation of points. Lots of different ways of doing it. How do you think loyalty will change as a whole moving forward?
Well, this is a great time for loyalty. We've seen programs like Emirates and Qatar just totally slash the amount of fees on their award tickets. We've seen partnerships, Aeroplan and Etihad just inked a really rich partnership, American Airlines and Alaska. And we've done analysis. We own the app Expert Flyer, which scans all of the airline award availability. And we've seen a huge increase in the amount of award tickets available. Plus, with reduced fees on changing your flights, I highly recommend to people, don't use your cold hard cash. Preserve that in this economic time. Who knows what's going to happen? Use your miles and points. You can get them back for free. So it's a great insurance policy without having to buy super expensive insurance that may or may not actually cover you, based on if we get another wave of this pandemic or not. So I think I'm bullish.
Yeah. So you're bullish. And so the good news is that if you've got the points, now's a good time to redeem them if you feel safe and comfortable. You've flown, travel's coming back. It's no longer just 80,000 must travels. Now we've got, 250,000 or so coming back. That's great. Lastly, before you head out, I wanted to just have you share a little bit with the audience about some of the work that you're doing with Rainbow Railroad. A lot of people here don't know about the organization, and I'd love for you to tell them about it and what you're doing with them.
Yeah, so Rainbow Railroad's based in Toronto. They help LGBTQ people around the world who are being persecuted, whether it's Chechnya, and there are gay concentration camps. And I've been with those refugees, and luckily Canada's been so welcoming, unlike my own country. But whether it's Canada or Argentina, we use frequent flyer miles, cash donations, and we'll get people out of danger, get them asylum, and give them a whole new life. So I always believe that travel unites us, makes us better people, but it truly can save lives. So if you're interested in donating to Rainbow Railroad, you can donate your Aeroplan miles directly through the Aeroplan giving portal, Amex points as well. So, or just redeem some cash to help those who have it much worse than we do. As an out entrepreneur with a loving family, I'm very, very fortunate, and I think it's important that we try to help those.
Let's get people traveling again. Let's heal the world. Let's get everybody sort of experiencing each other's cultures, having deep conversations, doing the serendipitous with people they don't know. I think we can only win when we meet new people, when we exchange ideas, when we listen, and we're open with open minds. So, hey, Brian, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Take care.